Hey, it's Byron Morrison here, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about, firstly, the real reason why you're stressed, and spoiler alert, it's probably not what you think, and secondly, I'm going to share with you a strategy that I use myself and with my private clients that's really going to help you not just manage, but reduce your stress levels. Now, the reason why I want to start with looking at why you're actually stressed is, as with everything else, it's always far easier to apply the solution if you fully understand the problem. So to put this into perspective for you, I want to tell you a quick story about a client that I recently started working with. You see, when he first came to me, understandably, with everything going on in the world right now, his stress levels were through the roof because essentially he's spending his days putting out fires and solving other people's problems. But when we started diving into why he was feeling stressed, he believed that was due to various moments throughout the day, like a certain event or something going wrong or a difficult conversation. And yes, all of those things may have triggered or contributed towards it, but they weren't the sole problem. Instead, it was merely an accumulation of everything else that happened that day. Think of it like this. You may start the stress from your day by having a difficult stakeholder meeting in the morning. Then that can get stacked on top by having to catch up with 100 emails. Then you have to have a difficult conversation with a member of your team. Then you have to deal with a customer complaint. Throughout the day, all of these stresses get stacked on top, accumulating over time, till eventually something can happen that pushes you over the edge, making you think that that's the problem, when merely it was just the tipping point from all of that stress and tension building up throughout the day. Does that make sense? Can you see how all of these instances throughout the day cause you to accumulate stress and get it to build up inside you? And this becomes an even greater challenge if you're someone like the client that I mentioned before, because as a CEO running a business, he's essentially spending his days bouncing around from one task to the next, constantly responding to challenges thrown his way, barely having a moment to stop and think, let alone breathe. And the problem with that is all of these moments throughout the day trigger the stress to accumulate at an even faster rate, keep him in a constant heightened state of mind. So what can you do about it? Well, you now know that all of that tension is accumulating throughout the day, which is why we need to consistently release some of that stress. Not just once, but at regular intervals. That's how we're going to break that cycle to stop it from stacking on top and removing you from that heightened state of mind. So here's what I want you to do. At the end of every single task, I want you to take 60 seconds to 3 minutes where you stop, close your eyes, and I want you to take some big deep breaths. Into the count of 4, out to the count of 4. Into the count of 4, out to the count of 4, focusing on your breaths the entire time. Now, the reason why we're doing this is, like I said before, when you get stressed, you go into this heightened state of mind. And when that happens, your blood pressure increases. And that's why you land up in this mental chaos where you can't think clearly. That's why instead, by intentionally stopping and focusing on your breath, what you're going to allow yourself to do is calm down, lower your blood pressure, and that's going to allow you to get back that clear-headed focus. And once you've released all of that built-up negative tension, before moving on, what I want you to do is ask yourself, what do you want from this next task? Mentally go through it, everything that needs to be done, thinking about what's your desired outcome, who do you need to show up as, what actions do you need to take? Set your intention and then take action on it. So there you have it, a really simple and easy to use technique that, if applied properly, can be completely life-altering when it comes to managing and reducing your stress levels. As with anything though, it's really important to remember that all of these strategies and techniques are great, but they are just tools. There's something to use in your arsenal to help you perform at your best. But as with anything else, the easiest way to avoid these issues is to solve the actual problem in the first place. So how do you actually do that? Well, I want you to take a moment and think about the last laptop computer that you had. Chances are when you first got it, it was pretty fast. It did everything that you needed it to and didn't really have any problems. Yet over time, chances are it started to slow down. It didn't have as much memory as it used to have. It had difficulty managing multiple tasks at once. And if you put it under too much stress, getting it to try and do too much, it would crash and stop working. Well, what most people don't realize is your brain works in exactly the same way. And this is why I see so many CEOs struggling and stressed out, because they're relying on the level of action, thinking, and brain power that got them to a certain point and hoping it's going to be enough to deal with that new level of problems, which is exactly why they're strained. So if we go back to the laptop example, when it starts to struggle, what would you do? Well, you'd upgrade it. You'd upgrade the baseline programming and internal operating system so it's able to deal with this new level of problems, to run tasks effectively and not get stressed and overwhelmed. And your brain operates in exactly the same way. And that's why the foundation of my Evolved CEO program is all about helping CEOs and business owners upgrade their brain power and internal operating system, because by leveling up their way of thinking, we can open up new thought pathways, which will give them that clear-headed focus to make better decisions, to execute without overthinking, and to handle new level of stress and pressure without crumbling or losing their composure. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I'd love to invite you to book a call directly with me so we can have a friendly chat to see whether or not working together on my Evolved CEO program is the right fit for you. And you can do that using the link below. So I just want to say a big thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And if you got value from this, please give it a like and share it with someone else that you think it would help. And also, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. How do you manage and reduce your stress levels? Let me know in the comments below. So as always, I've been Byron Morrison, and if you're new here, make sure you hit the follow button so that you don't miss regular new videos on how you can evolve as a CEO. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.